It's Hot 937, Hartford's #1 for hip hop and R&B. Got Vic Mensa in the building today. What up?
How you doing?
Oh, hold on. Wrong channel. 1 2 1 2. Okay. It's Hot 937, Hartford's #1 for hip hop and R&B. We got Vic Mensa in the building today. What up?
What up? What up?
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
How's everything with you?
Everything's very well with me.
I always just see you on some blog. No, first of all, like, I'm a big fan of yours. But I always see you on a blog, and you always saying something controversial.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, Vic Mensa.
Right.
If you don't get involved in politics soon, like, you better be in politics soon.
Well, you know, I am a political person.
Yeah, we know.
But as far as like, being a politician or something, I don't line up the right way with politicians because there's too much that you have to lie about, and oftentimes that's my issue.
But I would feel like you wouldn't
telling
lie,
a lot of truth,
and that's why people would like you.
But you don't play. I mean, politicians. There's no way around that. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you have to compromise on people's lives, people's livelihood as a politician. Like, I think about like Obama, you know what I'm saying? Obama was, from blocks away from where I grew up. And although he was in the highest office in the nation, it's like he was really just a face in a lot of ways, because he would have to compromise on horrible things, you know what I'm saying, just to be able to stay in position, and you have to please people too much. I don't know, that's not my thing. I
know, but I feel like you would be a great politician. I really do believe that, because you're so outspoken. Like, it's a good thing.
You know what I'm more into? Like, I've definitely been doing a lot of community work, a lot of work in the city.
Yeah, like street medics. Want to talk about that?
Yeah, that's dope. So that's a program from my foundation that I actually got the idea for that when I was in the West Bank. I was in Palestine, and there was an organization in Gaza that had their own their own medics type program where they were training and equipping first aid response, because the ambulances don't come through there, and it's like a siege. It's in a lot of ways very parallel to where I'm from, to Chicago.
Right. Yeah,
and so we're trying to teach people, not trying to, but we are teaching people how to address gunshot wounds and stabbings and things like that in real time. And so actually, I just got the word from my foundation director that one of the kids that we trained, because we have a partnership with CPS, Chicago Public Schools. So one of the kids we trained, his brother got shot recently, and he was able to address the situation and stop the flow of blood until the ambulance came. So that's crazy,
That's a great thing, but I think yes, mentally it must really affect you when something like that happens.
I mean, man, it's crazy. It's crazy in the city. The first training that we did, one of the kids that was at the training, 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid from this organization called Good Kids Mad City, he actually got killed not long after.
Oh my God.
And I was just like,
that is horrible.
Damn, not horrible. But that's why it's necessary. It's like we do these trainings and we go into these schools and we do a survey before the training, and we ask how many of the kids have ever been in close proximity or experienced these types of violence, and that it's it's over 80% of the kids. So that just lets you know how necessary it is that our people be equipped to save their own lives, because they're forgotten by society.
I love that. I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. So, and I know that you like to address mental health issues, even on Dark Things that just came out. It's about your struggle with mental health. So you want to speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, word. I just try to create music that, first and foremost, it's helps me to express my own situations, and everything is informed by my real life experiences. And so if it's super, super dark like that, then it's just because it's real, because that's a place that I've been in often. And then, there are other records that are different energies. And I want to, first of all, be able to unpack my own experiences, but also to make music that other people that have gone through those types of things or go through those types of things can relate to, because at the end of the day, everybody going through something, you know what I'm saying? And more often than not, people are going through many of the same different things,
Right. So I know you have kind of a little issue that I learned about you with the anxiety. which is something like a lot of people deal with.
Yeah, for sure.
Like my kids tell me I have an anxiety problem, but I really don't feel like I do. But so how have you learned how to control your anxiety?
Meditating is good. I mean, I've been going to like psychiatrists and therapists and stuff since I was like 15.
It's so helpful.
Yeah, therapy is mad important. That's super, super helpful.
I love it. Because I feel like the person's like outside of your life, so they can look in and have a clearer
somebody can look at
idea.
it objectively, word up.
Yeah.
Because when you're so in the thick of it, I mean, and that's the thing of human experience is that what is happening to you personally. I mean, nobody else is really in your exact position. But like I said, people are all going through a myriad of the same different emotions,
right.
Dealing with families and dealing with, abuse and so many things that people don't always feel comfortable speaking about in conversation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so a therapist is, I just think that in general, if you have the ability, that everybody should speak to a therapist.
I do too. I love it. I mean, really, I can't get enough of it. All right, so you have new music with G-Eazy. How's it working with this guy right here?
I love G-Eazy, man. That's my boy. I like doing music with people that are really my friends. And I've known G for a long time. I was doing shows with him when I was in a band when I was like 18.
I never knew that.
Yeah, and we did our first show together in the OC in Orange County at this place called the Observatory, I think. I think it was with
like a cafeteria in San Diego State.
That was with G-Eazy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that was. With Asher too, right? Yeah, that's crazy. So, I go back with bro, so I like doing music with him. Actually, I was telling this story the other day because this shit is funny. So
okay,
it was like, it was me,
yeah,
my boy Tokyo, who's also a rapper from Chicago, one of my brothers.
Okay.
He's like this half Mexican, half Japanese dude with long hair. He's just like turnt, sweaty, hilarious. And G-Eazy, and we're all trying to get back from South by Southwest to Austin, so we like hitched this car, just caught a ride with somebody because it was getting hectic, and so that night we're going to this party, and somehow I can't tell you how because I'm over here. I was on this side of the party, like in the bathroom with some girl, and G-Eazy was over in this corner with some other girl, and somehow Tokyo got this girl, to perform some acts upon him in the hallway because he convinced her he was G-Eazy.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Oh my God, it was hilarious.
Just putting in work for nothing.
I mean, she the one. She swiped out.
She was the one that
check
fell
bounced. Yeah, I mean.
That's crazy. You must have so many fun times, like going on tour and everything.
Oh man, yeah, it's dope. It's dope to go places and have people know your music. I mean, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? That's a real blessing to be able to do something like what I do and make a living off of it. That's just
crazy.
That's just fresh. It's like I get up every morning and it's like, yeah, I work and I work around the clock, but it's like I just do what I want to do, and I do what makes me happy. So
that's awesome. So Hooligans EP is coming out. Tell me
December
about
14th.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
You had an all-star lineup on that thing. My God.
Yeah, there's some good collaborations on there too. Some of my favorite collaborations on there. So the first song it's called Dancing in the Streets. It's like a song that I started with a Black Panther quote, and so that's like kind of representing some of those revolutionary energies. And it's featuring one of my favorite artists and just a good friend of mine. His name's Jesse Rutherford. He's from a band called The Neighborhood.
Okay.
Super fresh.
That's what I like about your music too, though, Vic. It's like eclectic. It's good. Like you hear something good, and it doesn't necessarily have to fit this like form of. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of music sounds a lot of the same now.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're listening to a project from you, it's kind of like could have some rock stuff and
a lot of rock influence.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's so good.
Thank you, man. There's a record called In Some Trouble with Ty Dolla $ign. That's one of my favorite records on there too. And also just one of my favorite people and one of the best artists in the game.
Yeah.
But maybe really probably my favorite collaboration for sure is Charlie Wilson. And that's on a song called The One That Got Away. slash No Shoes. It's like 2 songs that I put together.
That's
and
crazy.
I had made the beat from an Eddie Kendrick sample. It was like I was cleaning out my crib, and I just broke up with my girl, and I was listening to a bunch of records I had just bought at the record store, and I just heard this sample, and it was just wicked. So I took it to the studio and did that record. And so when my manager Dave eventually was able to get Charlie Wilson for the record, because I did a panel with him on mental health actually.
Oh wow.
Like 2 years ago, something around like BT Awards or something like that. And so we just kind of stayed in contact with them. You know, when them vocals came back from Charlie Wilson, man.
It was a church.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I know you were like, wow.
I was like, oh my God. Still to this day, every time I hear it, I'm just like, oh shit. Just because, you know, he's got that pain. Like when you, music like that, a voice like that,
Yeah.
that can only come from pain. You know, and Charlie Wilson has been through so much. Like most people don't even know. But it's like Charlie Wilson has been through so much. He was on dope, he was homeless, he was living on the streets, all after being a superstar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And before stepping into a different part of his career and life and a new life. And it's like, so when he sings, it's like you could just hear his story just
That's the
through
best
his
type of
voice.
music.
Word up.
That is the best type of music.
Of course it is.
So I wanted to get your take on the situation with Tekashi, because I know you recently spoke out about Tekashi in the summertime. Like, what is your take on the situation with Tekashi?
Oh man, you know, I guess it don't really matter what my take is. It's all about what the
Vic
judge
Mensa don't want to
says.
say nothing for once. What's going on?
That's up to the judge. That's niggas done said a lot already. That's,
I know,
you
but over the summer,
seems like
I
people
felt
be
like
saying too much.
I felt like you kind of issued a little bit of a warning, like you know, like not, and you. I felt like you were grown up, responsible with what you said.
My perspective, you know, as it had pertained to that was just, you know, one of really like support for my city and being like, you know, Chicago's so influential to so many different people to so many degrees. I think oftentimes people don't even understand how much of what
you say
goes on, or how much of what goes on and is in the slang and in the lexicon really is coming from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like all this gang, that's global now.
Right.
I mean, we were saying that because we really talk about gangbanging. You know what I'm saying? We like gang, like, but and it's cool. You know that you know Keith and them put that on there and it's become a full global thing. Thought, that's also from Chicago.
I didn't know that. Thought, really?
A lot of it is from Chicago. I ain't gonna hold you.
I did not know Thought was from Chicago. Did not know that.
So much of the slang and even just like a lot of the styles, like a lot of styles that people use are from Chicago. So, you know, I just always try to make sure, you know, we get our credit, man. You know what I mean?
Okay. Did you see this thing coming with this guy, do you think? Being where you're from, going through the things that you've been around?
Man, you know, it's just, well, you don't want to front your move, that's all. You know, it's like, you don't want to see anybody really end up in there for life or see like a Bobby Shmurda be sitting down for so long. But it's like, you know, when you are committing crimes, you might not want to talk about them in all your songs and on Instagram. You know, just it's like kind of a recipe for disaster. You asking for trouble. And I think it's like oftentimes those things actually fly in Chicago because that's the way that things have been set up. They've stopped even like solving 80% of murders.
Right.
New York City ain't for that shit though. They not for that shit in New York City. It's not going down like that.
I think it's a sad situation. Absolutely. So, clothing line. You have a clothing line? What's happening with your clothing line?
Oh yeah, so it's called 93 Punks. That's gonna be releasing with the 93 Punks album. So I got a group called 93 Punks. It's like a, you know, it's like you said, I always been inspired by rock music.
Yeah.
And I was into that before I was ever into hip hop.
Like punk rock era.
But just across the board, like my first favorite band was Guns N' Roses.
Okay.
And I used to listen to all that, like AC/DC and The Who and
That's
all
so
that.
crazy to me because
You know
I really didn't feel like I was ever into any of that.
I was so into
I mean,
that.
I liked like when I was growing up, like The Cure, like groups like that.
I got
There was
into
more
The Cure.
alternative.
I got into The Cure later when I was like, when I was like a little kid, you know, I was like in the classic rock. I think it's because my mom listened to a lot of classic rock. So I was liking all that. you know, then I got into Nirvana, and that was like the only band that mattered to me. Then I started messing with different things, like a lot of Rage Against the Machine, you know. Then I really got into different punk music, like the Descendants. I mean, during the pop punk stuff too, I loved Green Day, I loved Blink-182, Good Charlotte,
Okay.
And so that's always been an energy that I wanted to get out, and it's like I'm informed by so many different styles of music that I wanted to do. I wanted to do a project where I could really just express that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing an album like that, and I've been working with Travis Barker, and I've been working with Joel Madden from Good Charlotte. I had HR from Bad Brains in the studio. Anybody who knows who he is, he's the absolute goat.
Are these all new beats, or are you gonna sample some stuff too?
Are there any samples on that? There might be some like interpolations, like some things where we replay some shit.
Okay.
But for the most part, on the 93 Punks project, at thus far, it's not samples. It's like I do most of the drums for now.
Okay.
And then like my boy who was out on the Hove tour with me, his name is Drew DeCaro, he plays guitar. One of my guys who I came up with in Chicago named Dave Koresh, he's like rocking with me. We pretty much on some NERD type shit, but you know, in our own way.
I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It should be an interesting project.
It's so dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we can get all the clothing line
and that drop, and so the line drops with it. It's like with the clothing line, we do like a lot of just like vintage leather and denim and just like reworking things, taking clothing that has had a life, that's had a story before it. The same way you sample a record, you know what I'm saying? That has had a complete life, and then you breathe it into a new existence. That's what we do with the clothing.
Man, Vic Mensa, you always had so much good shit going on. Like always. Just keeping busy, doing your thing, making your music, man. I love talking to you. I wish I could talk to you all day.
I had a half pipe in my backyard, then we really had some good things going on.
Yeah?
Oh my God. We sick about that. The landlord made us take the half pipe out.
Wait, who's still, you're still like skating and everything? Like you're still skating?
I was just learning to skate the half pipe. I've been skating my whole life, but we always just really skated street, you know?
Yeah.
And so we put a half pipe in my backyard in LA, and man, the landlord hated. He hated. I feel him though. I kind of feel him, but I also don't like him at all. But he did make us remove it. I was able to keep it for the video though, you know. So I shot a video for the record, In Some Trouble with Ty Dolla $ign.
Okay,
at my
you
crib.
guys are skating in it?
And so, you know, at least we got to put it, you know what I mean, eternalized.
Yeah, it's a little, you know, I hate to say this, but I'm a big Vans fan. Do a little collab with Vans, man.
Man, that'd be crazy.
Let's make this thing happen.
That's pretty much all we skate, any of us really, is Vans.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Vic Mensa. It's nice talking to you. We'll look forward to Hooligans in December, okay?
Turn up.
All right.